Once he signed the contract and his form dipped, the league was done anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But why it's being highlighted now is because we started afresh. You guys have gone on a tear. You're now 10 points clear of them. And they're on their worst wrong harm.
That's not on Salah. That's on the club, by the way the club was managed.
But
all these signings,
of course, it's on
all
Slot
bombed
and not getting the best. But at the same time, you decided to come out and make this about you.
Yeah, he didn't need to say anything.
No one told you to open your mouth.
That was bad.
No one told you to open your mouth.
Advocate
You
here,
made
by
it
the way.
about you. So now we're going to scrutinize you and what you're doing and your performances because you decided to make it about you.
And that's the reason why it happened, because he said that he could have said this any time before, but you have.
Why didn't he say it after the West Ham game when they won?
Exactly. He said it after because he's knowing to
game when they won. Because it was calculated. He knew he was waiting for Liverpool to lose or get a draw where in which they should have won, which was Leeds. So he could come out with this, and he believed that if I put this out, I'm going to create this dynamic between me and the manager, and they're going to have to choose and blah 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 blah. And it's somewhat worked, but it's backfired on him because I come back to your point again, KA. Nobody wins from this.
But every game is a do or die game, even though we're still in the first half of the season. But as I said, come back in February, come back in January, March, and then we'll see where we are. Because once we get this December out of the way, it's now Arsenal's turn to have a favourable run. And we get our players back. So I'm not too annoyed, but yes, I'm upset that obviously we lost, and as you said, the draw would have been fair. And but I think we still got this in the bag. We should still have it in the bag, should I say?
Spartans, what is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Tonight's Roundtable discussions where we discuss what's on the time. People, listen, I apologize.
I'm muting.
These man off air have been giving me not too much joke, but yes, people, we are back. We've got Mr. KAST and Tooth in the building. How are we doing, people?
As you can see, we're cheerful and happy.
Yeah, we're good.
The man, them are good. It's good vibes, man. We're just negotiating terms and conditions for Mr. K's promotion, bro. Yeah, he's taking the man them on tour next year with the amount of money he's raking in right now.
When the boss finally starts to pay us, isn't it? Man's keeping it all for himself, bro.
Listen,
boss.
Hey, I'm not exposing nobody. I don't know what boss he's talking about. Hey, you know who you are.
I didn't say no names, right?
But in the group chat, you know who you are, bro. I'm not involved, bro.
Don't protest too much.
But yes, people, we are back. Footie Chat is back. We're going to be getting into it, dissecting everything that has transpired. There's a lot that's been gone on in the football world, so we've been talking about all of that. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. As I say all the time, share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. People, apologies. There was no poly last week. Life be lifing. That's all I can say about it. Life be lifing. So unfortunately couldn't get on. But I'm back with the man them. And there's only one place to start. Boy, it's one of them ones where a lot has been said about this, and we are going to have our say on this. So last week, Saturday, Liverpool played Leeds, ended in a 3-3 draw. And then Mo Salah decided to do an interview in which he said that the club, Liverpool Football Club, and the management have thrown him under the bus. He said that he went from having a great relationship with the manager to not having a relationship with the manager at all. He said he earned his place in the team. He earned the right to play in this team. And he feels a certain type of way about what has taken place over the past few weeks with himself and the football club. And that's me paraphrasing. There's a lot to unpack here. ST, I'm going to come to you first. Obviously, that news broke The whole football world has been talking about all week. We've heard from Jamie Carragher, we've heard from Thierry Henry, Michael Richards, Steven Gerrard, Steve McManaman, Paul
Sammy
Merson.
Kufuor.
Huh?
Sammy Kufuor, you've not heard from
Sammy
him?
Kufora as well. Listen, there's a lot of people that have had their ex players as well that have had their say on this particular subject. Um, what are your thoughts on it? How do you see this? Because people have been coming at it from many different angles. I know you and I have obviously spoken about it off air. We're all gonna have our say on what we think. But how do you see this first of all?
So basically, I'm against what Salah did. For the reasons that, um, first of all, and the problem with Liverpool at this moment in time is a lot of things. So Slot's tactics are horrible. So I don't blame Salah for that. However, the issue is not the forward line. The issue is the midfield and especially the defense. Liverpool are still scoring goals and leaking goals. And the reason why Salah and for Salah getting like taken off is because he hasn't been playing well for the past since he got the contract, basically. Well, since he announced the contract. And he's seen it as an attack on him. But what I've seen is that Slots has looked at the team, and Salah doesn't really offer anything defensively. That's not his job. That's not what he's paid to do.
Mm.
But at this moment in time, because Liverpool are struggling, everybody need all hands on deck if you understand what I mean. And because Salah is not producing up front, there is no point of him actually playing. And I'm agree with Slot for taking him out. And Salah's just not happy about it. His ego's got the best of him. But we all know that Salah has a big ego. And I
Mm.
get it. He's won so much. He's won so much. He's scored a lot of goals, but at the same time, he was wrong to do that in public. And it was a very calculated interview in the sense that Salah is very emotional, even anyway. We've
Mm.
seen him argue with Klopp,
Mhm.
even in the good times. We've seen
Mm.
him argue with Mane, even in the good times. We've seen him argue with
Mhm.
so many people. But the fact is, he was wrong for saying it, and it was an ego thing. He's basically saying that the club are throwing him under the bus, all this stuff. But it's just that he hasn't performed well. And Slot has said, you know what? I can't afford to lose any more games, even though he is losing games. And he's like, I need to take someone out of the firing line. And that would be Salah because Salah hasn't offered anything. I know Isak has been bad, but Isak has offered slightly more than what Salah has done. And even Wirtz, as much as we laugh at Wirtz, has offered more than Salah. Salah has been poor the whole season and deserves to be taken off. And like I said, I've seen this behavior from Salah for a long time. He's done this when Liverpool were winning things. It's an egotistical thing. He's done this because not for the good of the team, but for himself. He knows he's going to AFCON.
Mm.
So he doesn't he's gonna deal with this when he comes back. But because he's going to AFCON, Liverpool are gonna be it's gonna affect Liverpool. And he's not thinking of the club because if you were thinking of the club, you wouldn't do these things. You wouldn't say this at that particular time where Liverpool don't really need that sort of stuff. And I understand what by people saying that Salah is bigger than the club. No one's bigger than the club. However, I understand that certain people like Salah, you treat them differently because of what he's done. But at the
Mm.
same time, I think personally, Slot was right to get him off, and Salah was just throwing his toys out of the pram. Personally, for me.
100%. There's a lot that you said there that I do agree with. And I think the biggest thing was about him throwing his toys out of the pram. Um, but just to give a little balance here, Mr. K, obviously I want to get your perspective on it. But before that, has Salah earned the right to do this? As ST alluded to, the fact that we know this. There are players and there are players. You've got the players, your average Joes, you've got the middle type players, and then you've got these players that are superstars of the football club. And they do, to a certain extent, have to be treated differently because at the end of the day, you rely on them more than anybody else. So has Mo Salah earned the right to come out and say these things, considering that from his perspective, and a lot of and probably about half of the Liverpool fan base perspective, they wouldn't be where they were right now without him.
Well, first of all, I've got to say is I don't have to go every day fighting for my position. I earned it. I am not bigger than anyone or bigger than this putty, but and I'm not bigger than football. But why didn't I go first? Just give my Salah moment there, like no, but no, from what you said, and I'll go back on some of the stuff I've already heard. Yeah, no one is bigger than the club. No one has the right. No player should be speaking out like that against the manager or against the club. No one, whether he didn't throw direct shots at Liverpool as a club, but he more or less did that to Slot. And you got to show, even though you are the number one earner, the superstar, the talisman, you've got to show leadership. You've got to show professionalism and respect because that trickles down.
Mm.
And obviously, all the young players in the team watching up to you, people who maybe feel as your equals, looking up to you, and looking at you. So people are always gonna have their eyes on you. The fans, it causes disharmony across the club, backroom staff, people but who we don't even see behind the scenes. It's gonna cause disruption and disharmony with them as well, the whole football club. So the way Salah came out and did it wasn't the best. Timing wasn't well. It's never really a good time at all. Um, Especially in this climate of Liverpool not doing so well. It just
Mhm.
seems to make it feel worse because everyone's got their opinion and everyone they're in the limelight for the wrong reasons as a club. So Salah coming out and saying all this um, will sorry will obviously cause waves, but he's just a man that's disgruntled. He's fed up. He's never been in this position. Whilst he's been at his peak like this,
Mhm.
he's never
Mhm.
been in this position. Um, so yeah, he threw his toys at the pram. But with I agreed with most of what everything that ST was saying early on. Until he kind of started talking about comparing him with other players and saying he's not been as good as these players and some of the things he's done throughout the season. Because even though he wasn't performing to his best at the beginning of the season, he was the one scoring those last minute goals for Liverpool, even though they had all them like games in a row of like winning last minute in the 90th minute. And Salah scored a few of those goals. And I think you mentioned Verts earlier on. Verts is still like 007 times two right now. So um so there's a few things I wasn't too sure that I wouldn't say I completely agree with. He threw his toys at the pram. He's got the right to speak up, but it's just the manner he did it in was wrong. And he ain't bigger than the club. Liverpool are Liverpool. No player is bigger than the club, no matter what team, Tom, Dick, or Harry team you play for. So Salah, he just went about it the wrong way. And that's it really.
Oh.
There's never a good time, but yeah, he just went about it the wrong way. Uh, he could have had his conversations. I don't. It doesn't seem like he's had any conversations with Slot because he talks about one day we were good, next day we're not, and I'm not playing
Mm.
anymore.
Mm.
And I don't think Slot's handled it all honky dory himself either because take Salah out a couple of times, but like now you make it. Now he's starting to see that he's got an agenda and he's making an example of Salah. Whereas like take him out for one, 2 games max because come on, every team needs Salah, no matter if he's playing bad or not. He's got his magic moments in him. So I don't think Slot's done his job, handled it well. I don't think the media are jumping on his back. They're making it into a bigger circus. So, and it's affecting the players because they're getting asked about it in interviews. They're getting asked
Mhm.
about it,
Mhm.
um, probably in their day-to-day lives, and then they're having to give their opinions on it. And you can tell most of them are not feeling what Salah's done, but at the same time, they have that kind of respect for him. They still kind of his teammate. I mean, he's still my teammate, so they a bit conflicted. But anyway, but yeah, not to go on for too long, man. All parties are in the wrong here. There's no winner.
Mm. Well, there you go. There you go. And it's true. And I again agree with what you've said. As you said, there's no winner within this. Tooth, I know you love a villain arc. So this is right up your street in terms of the timing. There's no worse timing, but that's your thing. Obviously, him coming out and doing what he's done. What's your perspective on this, bro? Because in the group chat, you were just looking at it from a personal thing of, well, they stole Isak from us, so I hope the whole club burns in hell. But if we take that out of it and just isolate the Salah incident, what's your perspective on it?
It's still gonna be as savage as my perspective personally, bruv. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure you'll keep this in, but
Oh my
my
god,
man's
bro.
take. Listen, bruv. Yeah, my man is trying to steal all the sympathy and martyrdom of fucking Diogo Jota, bruv. He's the one. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, bro, relax yourself, bruv. You've been out of the game for a couple, like, you've been put to the side for a couple games, bruv. Like, relax. Like, it's all right, man. Like, you don't need to go on this fucking crusade. Do you know what I mean? Talking about you being thrown under the bus, bruv. But yeah, man, like pun intended, I hope Liverpool get thrown off a cliff, bro. I don't give a fuck. I want this to go on and on to the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? Keep playing Isak. He's cack, bro. And then bench him and then throw Salah on, bro. Like it's beautiful. This is lovely for me. I love it. All the turmoil, all the anarchy. I hope they keep. But I don't know why everyone gives a fuck. Like, why is everyone care? Like, why is not people enjoying this? Like, you should just sit back, get your
It's
popcorn.
because it's
Like,
Liverpool.
We enjoy it.
who,
We all enjoying it.
Liverpool, the
bro?
heritage,
Like, it's
Liverpool
it's it's a
Cologne.
beautiful thing, bro. It's a beautiful thing. Like last season, it was Man United. We all enjoyed that. This season, it's Liverpool. Like, let's just enjoy it, bro. It's their turn, and they deserve every bit of it. I don't think it's as bad as the Isak thing at all. You know what I mean?
Mm, which
Now,
is
when you
true.
really
Which is true.
unpack this, bruv, yeah, when you really, really unpack this, bruv, I don't understand even why it's getting so much attention. But I do at the same time. He's just upset, and that's it. And his voice in this, bro, he's letting his inside voice talk. You know what I mean? And he shouldn't. And that's it. That's it, bro. We all want to talk shit about our work managers, bro. We just, do you know what I mean? We don't get on
Yeah.
fucking Twitter and do it, bruv. You know what I
No,
mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, this is it, and look, this is the thing, and like I said, I've watched various pundits say their piece on it. Obviously, all the media outlets say their piece on it, and look, there's two sides to this. You've got, and I think there's a bit of a generational thing as well in terms of understanding, because what you'll notice is if you look at the younger generation, because all their lives are put out on social media, they don't see the problem with this, and because there's so much of this player FC nowadays as well, so they're like, Mo Salah's right, he should say this, X, Y, and Z, blah blah, no, 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 no. And then you've got the other end where it's like, well, the old school, where it's like, this should have been kept behind closed doors. No, this should have never come out. You can be disgruntled, you can have an annoyance, but you do that, you take that to the manager's office and vent that frustration. And that's that. My perspective is this. First of all, everybody knows that's watching. I'm not a fan of Mo Salah. I'm not a fan of him. I don't rate him like that. I respect the player and I respect the goal scoring, but as a footballer, I do not rate him. So there might be a little bit of bias in what I say, but I see it like this: as STKA Tooth, you've all said it. He's thrown his toys out the pram. Can we just establish? I completely understand everything that Mo Salah's done since he's come from Roma to Liverpool. The goal scoring is insane. He's been in double digits every season, and that's just in the Premier League. I'm not talking about in all competitions, and you've got to respect that. Obviously, two Premier League titles, Champions League, two FA Cups, two League Cups, Club World Cup, UEFA Super Cup. So he's won a lot, and done a lot for Liverpool. But you're not the only one. And this is my point. My point is you're not the only one, because people are saying, oh, he's the best player Liverpool have ever had. I think Dalglish and Ian Rush might have something to say about that. Well, he's the best player that Liverpool have had in this era of them winning things. I think Virgil van Dijk might have something to say about that. And KA, you can shake your head and say
Come
no.
on.
Obviously,
I'm not his biggest fan as well, but come on, like he had Liverpool on his back last season. And the numbers, you've seen the stats and the numbers, man. Like,
no, and
But that's everybody's stats.
I completely understand that, but I've also seen the stats and the numbers for Virgil van Dijk. This is a Virgil van Dijk that before this season was being compared to the greatest Premier League centre backs of all time. This is the Virgil van Dijk that had the aura of what a Rio Ferdinand had, where it's like, oh well, it's Virgil. You can't go one-on-one with Virgil. Virgil do this. Instead of people going at him, Virgil turn out, pass back. This is the aura that Virgil van Dijk created over the years. He was up there with levels, not me. This is everybody else out there.
You know, Salah had that same aura as well.
No, but that's what I'm saying. KA. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're not on the same. I'm saying they're on the same level. That's why when I said he's the best player, that people are saying he's the best player by a mile, I'm saying Virgil van Dijk might have something to say about that in terms of this era. Obviously, you can bring in Mane, but he didn't have the numbers and he didn't have the longevity. So that's why I'm talking about Virgil in an isolated thing. But then you've got the teammates that have helped you do this. As Jamie Carragher said, you went to Chelsea, didn't work. You rebuilt yourself at Roma. But you see the money that you're on right now, you see all the fans that you got right now, would have never happened if you never went to Liverpool. Never, right? Because no one else was looking at you. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich were not looking at you. So let's not sit here and carry on as to say Liverpool hasn't done as much for Mo Salah as Mo Salah has done for Liverpool. I'm not saying you man have said that. I'm putting it out there to everyone out there that said that. That's the thing that I wanted to clarify. Second of all, football is a what have you done for me lately business. Unfortunately for him, he's not performing at the levels that he should be. I take your point. Earlier in the season,
it's been like 12 games.
I take your point where you said in the beginning he was getting the odd goal here and there, but the performances were lacking. And I'll go back to ST's point. This performance, I'm talking about this season isolated, but if you take what ST said, which is true, he hasn't performed since he's got that new contract. All them goals that he scored last season was in the beginning. So this isn't a case of, this just started from August. This has gone on from way before that. So my whole thing is, if you're not scoring goals and you're not assisting, what is your purpose? Because he's not a player that's going to control a game. Defensively, as ST said, it's not his role, so he's not going to do so. And when you look at Mo Salah play football, you sit there and think to yourself, how the fuck did he get all these goals and assists? Because he's horrible to watch. Aesthetically, he is horrible to watch.
That's his game, though.
No,
I'm not even a Salah defender. That's his game. That's how he was last season when he got those numbers.
Which is fair.
He hasn't changed.
That's what. But okay, what I'm saying is, if you're not contributing the goals and assists, he doesn't bring anything else to the table. So when Liverpool are in these moments where they are nosediving, conceding left, right, and centre, because as ST said, the problem isn't scoring goals. I know they drew against Leeds; they still scored 3 goals. They can score goals. The problem is they're leaking at the back. We're going to get to that, right? So if Salah's not contributing goal and assist, you're a passenger. You're a passenger.
He's a forward. He's an attacker.
But we could say the same thing.
He ain't putting on gloves.
We could say the same thing about the Luis Diaz's of this world. All right, let's go back to the Cody Gakpos, everybody else. They will contribute going back defensively. But if you got Mo Salah, prime example, just to pull an example out there, the PSV game where Mo Salah lost the ball on the halfway line and then didn't move. Right, there was another incident, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the Man City game where the same thing happened. If you're getting pumped by all these teams and you need to roll your sleeves up and roll your socks up and say, do you know what? Fuck it. I just need my team to contain and 2 banks of 4, blah, blah, blah. Mo Salah then becomes a passenger in that situation.
Yeah, I
So
hate that.
you
But
put
can you
all that,
not see this thing for also not? I know I'm comparing it, but like for
yeah.
like CR7 and Messi, like
Oh yeah, well we said the same thing for
yeah,
Cristiano. We said
like how?
ST. You go. Hey, check the tapes. We said the same thing about Cristiano. Lionel, the same. We said it about PSG, but we said about the whole front three of PSG, which is why they couldn't get to where they needed to get to because of that situation where teams were like, all right, cool. As long as we sit in, as well, we can. These three won't defend, so we can go and attack and go, and we'll play the chess game. We'll play the chess game against these guys. So here's the thing now. So he gets dropped. The first game he gets dropped, which is an isolated one, was the Eintracht Frankfurt. They won 5-1. Now, Tooth knows, obviously, Eintracht Frankfurt, bruv, defensively, they are absolutely shocking. So it is what it is. He then came back, and I think they I think one of the games they beat Madrid, which he started, and I think that's when they lost to Man City and Nottingham Forest and whatnot. So then he gets dropped for the West Ham game. They go and win 2-0. He was on the bench. He didn't come on. Gets dropped for the Sunderland game. They drew. He did come off the bench. He got dropped against Leeds. He didn't come on. Obviously, because of what took place, he got left out against Inter. They won 1-0. Anytime that Mo Salah has dropped, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, I think since Mo Salah has been dropped, in the games that he's been dropped, Liverpool haven't lost. Yes, you could talk about the performances against Sunderland, them fluking it and getting lucky and getting the 1-1, and them throwing away the lead against Leeds, but they haven't lost. So that says to me, even though it should be temporary, what Slot has done has worked to a certain extent because they've stopped losing, which was the first thing. They need to stop the bleeding. So now it comes to, well, a lot of people bring up the argument, well, he should have come on against Leeds. Cool, fair enough. But the moment manager chose not to bring him on. What's the problem? He came on against Sunderland, did fuck all. So it's like, well, what difference does it make if we bring him on or don't bring him on? He's not contributing. The other factor, KA, that people are saying, well, there's other players that should be dropped. I said I was going to come back to the defense. Unfortunately, because of poor business in the transfer window, and this is where you bring Slot and Liverpool into it, you can't drop the centre backs because you can't drop Virgil van Dijk. He's the captain, and there's no one to replace him. Kanate, yes, you may. I think there's one guy that's injured for them. Can't remember the name. And then Joe Gomez, he could have maybe got Joe Gomez in earlier, but now Joe Gomez is covering his two right backs that are injured. So you can't really rotate the centre backs because there's no one to rotate with. Whereas in the forward options, he's got the options. Heard Paul Merson say, well, the guy that's playing in that position isn't better than Mo Salah, the one that's replaced him. He may not be, but Sabowski's been Liverpool's best player this season. So he's earned the
But he's
right.
playing tennis, isn't he? Is he
No,
playing
no, no,
any?
no. He's been playing right back on the right. Verts has come in. He's played Isak
No, last
Antike.
few games since Salah's been out, he's been playing in an attacking position. He ain't been playing right
Yeah,
back.
he's been playing. He's been playing on the right. That's my point. He's been playing on the right. Yeah, it's not Gakpo. Or, I think we brought Wertz in once to play on that side. It didn't work. But Sabowski's been the one that's replaced him. He's been Liverpool's best player. So if we're going based on form, Sabowski has earned the right to dislodge him because he's been performing and Salah has not. So this narrative that Liverpool must play Salah no matter what is bullshit. Because if you're not contributing, there are enough other attacking players to do your job. What they need to fix is in defense, which they can't really do, and in midfield, where again we can talk about Slot on the board and say they didn't do what they're supposed to do because they should have went out and got a defensive midfielder instead of getting a centre
Yeah.
forward. So we can blame Slot and Liverpool in one instance in terms of not recruiting, but we can't blame. He's the manager. If he feels that Mo Salah's not giving him what he needs, then he has the right to drop him. Now, where I will agree with you, KA, is this can't go on for 7, 8, 9, 10 games where Salah's not in if they're not winning. So at some point, he has to get brought back in. Now, based on this whole what's happened earlier, he's in the squad for the Brighton game. A conversation has taken place. There's been nothing said about what's been said, but he's back in the squad for the Brighton game. Then he goes to AFCON. He will not start tomorrow or today because this is going out. But he will not start. So then it goes to AFCON. and then we're going to see what happens when he comes back.
Mm.
But what KA said, the last thing that you said, KA, is the thing that I agree with the most. Nobody wins.
Mm-hmm.
Salah doesn't win.
Sorry, can I just go back to your point before you continue? What you said about him not contributing is right to be dropped. But as we said, that's been Salah for years. He's a
No,
moments guy, and he
But
waits
that's
on.
why
Why not
that's
drop
why
him
we
last
complain.
season?
no.
Why not drop him before? Like,
Which I
why
agree with.
now? That you're throwing him on, that's throwing him under the bus.
Which I agree with you. But the difference was, and STFI said that Salah is a high volume player. So Salah in this Salah in this heavy metal era, and then remember, Slot really didn't do nothing to the team last season in
Yeah, it
terms
was
of what he
Klopp's.
did.
It was
So it's
Klopp's.
still Klopp, so it's still heavy
Yeah.
metal. So he was still getting the chances. He's still getting 4, 5, 6, and he was like, goal, assist. And then once he signed the contract and his form dipped, the league was done anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But why it's being highlighted now is because we started afresh. You guys have gone on a tear. You're now 10 points clear of them, and they're on their worst wrong harm.
That's not on Salah. That's on the club, by the way the club was managed.
But
all
yeah,
these signings,
of course, it's on
all
Slot
bombed.
and not getting the best. But at the same time, you decided to come out and make this about you.
Yeah, he didn't need to
No
say
one
anything.
told you to open your
that
mouth.
was bad. That was bad. And
No,
I'm just
no one
I'm
told
just
you to open
playing
your mouth.
advocate
You
here,
made
by
it
the way.
about you. So now we're gonna scrutinize you and what you're doing and your performances because you decided to make it about you.
And that's the reason why it happened, because he said that he could have said this any time before, but you happened
Why didn't
to
he say it after the West Ham game when they won?
Exactly. He said it
Why
after
didn't he say it
because
after the
he's
West
going
Ham
to
game when they
AFCON.
won? Because it was
That's what it is.
calculated. He knew he was waiting for Liverpool to lose or get a draw where in which they should have won, which was Leeds. So he could come out with this, and he believed that if I put this out, I'm going to create this dynamic between me and the manager, and they're going to have to choose and blah 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 blah. And it's somewhat worked, but it's backfired on him because I come back to your point again, KA. Nobody wins from this. You didn't need to open your mouth because the fact of the matter is that draw there would have put more pressure on Klopp and on Slot. Everyone would have been talking about Slot. Nobody would have been talking about you. You decided to make it about you. And don't get me wrong, KA. I know how these top level players work. We've seen it. They want to play. I don't have an issue with that. You shouldn't be happy to be on the bench. You shouldn't be happy to collect a check. And you shouldn't be, for a player of his caliber that plays week in and week out, he shouldn't be happy with doing up bench. Take that to the back room with the manager and sort it out there. And if you do that and it goes 10, 11, 12 games and Liverpool aren't doing anything and it's still going on, then I would say, all right, cool. Let me get my agent on the phone and let my agent put this out. Because Mo Salah don't do interviews. The last interview he did was about his contract, which is why Jamie Carragher said what he said. Because at the end of the day, we've watched how many interviews from players. Van Dijk is the captain. Yeah, he's got to come out. We've seen other teams where our players, senior players, come out, spoken to the media. Never Mo Salah. Never Mo Salah. Mo Salah don't want to speak to the media when they're losing, right? No one does. But you as a senior player and one of the leaders should be able to do that. Don't hear from him. But now you want to come, open up your mouth. Nobody in the media area wanted to talk to you because no one expected you. You went and sourced out my man and said, I want to say this. So you made it about you instead of being like this and saying, look, this isn't helping anybody. We need to come together as a team and try and get out of this. That's how this should have went. But unfortunately, man decided to open his mouth and do what he did. And now this is a situation that they're in. But to come full circle now and go back to KA's original point is the biggest point that I agree with him. Doesn't help anybody. Doesn't help the team. Doesn't help Slot. Doesn't help Salah. Doesn't help the Liverpool fans. Helps us because we're loving it, them being in turmoil. But in terms from a Liverpool perspective, it doesn't help anybody. And the best thing for them to do right now is you've got two choices. And Gary Neville said it earlier. He said if this was a lesser player, he'd be out the door. 100% right. But the fact of the matter is Liverpool needs Salah and Salah leads Liverpool. because
Yeah.
people came out and said, well, if it's not about the money with Liverpool, because if it was, he would have went to Saudi. Of course it was. Because if you're getting paid 400 grand a week and still playing at the highest level, of
You're
course
gonna
it was.
stay.
You 200 grand a week and playing at the highest level isn't it for a 33, 34-year-old. But if Liverpool turns around and says, I'm going to give you 400 grand a week and you can still play Champions League week in, week out, who the fuck is going to say no and go to Saudi? Absolutely nobody.
Mm.
So that point is absolutely
Exactly.
invalid, right?
Mm.
But it's a case of, can he come back together? Can he come back in this team, have these conversations with Van Dijk, with Slot? I'm just trying to think, with Andy Robertson as one of the senior players as well,
Alisson.
and Allison and McAllister, have these conversations, because there's going to be players that are going to feel a type of way. There's going to be players that feel a type of way. So can they reintegrate and try and move forward and try and get Liverpool back to where they believe they should be, and get the focus back on the team and not on Mo Salah? And this sounds like I'm just ripping Mo Salah because, as I said at the beginning, I don't like him. But at the end of the day, I respect what he's done for the football club. I respect the amount of goals and assists he's scored. I said he's not my personal cup of tea, but neither is Alan Shearer. But I respect what they've done in the game. I absolutely respect what they've done in the game. And you don't score the amount of goals that he scored without having an ego. So that ego is always going to be there. We've seen a lot of the greats have these ego. Don't be wrong, I'm not putting them in the R9 Cristiano Messi category, but we've seen players with egos, and he's one of those people. But at the end of the day, that same ego that has got him in trouble with making this statement is the same ego that's got him 2 Premier Leagues, Champions League, 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, Club World Cup, and whatnot. And finally, just to finish
Can I
about
make a point quickly?
Yeah, go on.
I feel it's a low blow, yeah, where people always say, he was nobody at Chelsea. They love to bring that up when he's doing
It was a
bad.
low blow. It
That
was a low blow. It
Because no one
was
says
a
that,
low
but
blow.
David Carragher
He
was
was
salty
young.
about
He was
that was
younger.
such a...
He was younger, and it didn't work for him. But look, he built. That's why I said he built his career back and went to Liverpool.
Because
And
people
man
don't
was
say
on
that
stuff.
about KDB. So many Chelsea
KDB
flop.
was another one.
But
Wolfsburg's
yeah.
where he built his career back up. But KDB didn't come out and say X, Y, and Z and made it about me.
But people like to use that to throw that out.
Yeah,
That was a low
I
blow.
get it, and that's what I was going to say. The final
He was a
point
nobody
about,
at Chelsea.
but that's what I'm going to say. The final point about the AFCON thing. And I find it contradictory from Carragher saying that when he said that AFCON, what he said about AFCON. I'm not going to repeat it because it's not worth repeating. And what he said was facts. Egypt dominated Africa Cup of Nations. You don't know this because I went through turmoil, them winning it all them times, yeah? And Salah comes in and then they don't win it. Now, people are saying, but he got them to their first World Cup in X amount of years, which is fair. But what he said is fact. But what I don't like is that Carragher said it after what you said to disrespect AFCON. So,
Carragher,
1 minute you want to
Carragher
disrespect, but the other minute now you're trying to use it as a beating stick. So as much as I agree
Carragher was a troll.
Yeah, as much as I agree with a lot of Carragher said, that bit there wound me up a little bit because I'm like, you don't deserve to say that. You don't have the right to say that. But listen, we're gonna see what happens against Brighton. We're gonna see how this resolves and how it moves forward. I just quickly from each of the man them, ST, keep him or sell him in January.
He has to go for me, bro. That stuff is madness, bro.
Hmm.
He has to leave. That you know how that relationship. Liverpool don't need that sort of those people right now who are against him. He's divided the club. Let's be real with this. He's caused turmoil, even more turmoil, and it's now him versus Son. You can't, as a manager, I can't come back. You can't come back and say that and be like, yeah, we're good and all these things like this. Like, especially in the way that Slot is, he's under pressure. It's different if, for example, they were doing well, but because Slot's under so much pressure, he's not performing well. You've lost the trust of the manager. You can't come back and say that. He has to go, for me personally.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on what direction the board want to go, man. Because if they writing off the season, he goes. If they want to back the manager, he goes.
100%.
But if they feel like they need him, they need him. If they feel like, we can still get top 4, we need, because they in their current without Salah, it's hard to see them getting top 4 without Salah. So,
what are you saying? Keep him or sell it?
Keep him, bro. I want to see this shit
Yeah,
go on, bro.
I hear you.
Listen. Well, I was listening to McManaman, and he said Anelka did something similar. He wasn't the superstar that Salah was at Liverpool, but at Real Madrid, he was moaning because of Raúl and Morientes. They dropped him, made him train the reserves, but then the manager understood that they needed him. Obviously, made a massive contribution in the Champions League semi-final, played in the final. Then they sold him at the end of the season. Could be the same story with Salah, where they keep him,
Yeah,
and at
that's
the
what
end of
I
the
think.
season,
You
they
have to keep.
they move him
No, we
on.
don't
But
want that though. We do not want that though. We do not want that.
no, but we'll definitely see. Well, I'll definitely watch this space and see what happens. With Liverpool and Salah. Tooth, it's your time, bruv. Listen, massive game on the weekend, bruv. Massive game on the weekend, bruv. It is the Tyne-Wear Derby.
It's going to be a good match.
This is the biggest. It is the biggest game in the northeast. It's the biggest game in the northeast. Sunderland's more your rivals than Middlesbrough, right?
Yeah, Sunderland.
Yeah.
Sunderland are the rivals.
Yeah. Bro,
Guys
talk to me.
Guys acting like this is like fucking
Some heavyweight.
Panathinaikos versus Olympiakos, you know. Like, bro, come on. These are big boy teams, bro. Look,
What you
man,
telling me, bro? What you
everything
telling
I
me?
have to say about this game, has been said on the last poddy. So if the people want my opinion of Newcastle, they just go listen to the last poddy. Ain't shit changed, bro. We're still inconsistent, still winning some, losing some, drawing some. Sunderland on the up, big up Sunderland. You know what I mean? They're our rivals, but they're killing it. And they look like favourites here, bro. They look like fucking favourites here.
Listen,
You know what I mean?
they're ninth right now. I think they're a point above. It's only a point in it, only a point above you. But if you look at the way if you look at the way in which they've started the league, you would be like, yeah, they could be favourites. But I don't think that's entirely true with Newcastle. Yes, the disappointment of the draw against Bayern Leverkusen in the week, but you're unbeaten in 4. I think you've won 3 of the last 4 in the league. I think you've drawn the other one. So there is form in the league. The league form has picked up since obviously beating Manchester City. So it's just trying to get that level of consistency. But in the league, it's getting a lot better. And I don't think there's a better time. I think if this game was 3-4 weeks ago, I think that you lot would be in a lot of trouble with the way how you're playing. But I think obviously Anthony Gordon has been scoring, Harvey Barnes has been scoring, the real Bruno has been scoring.
Own goals.
Listen, bro, we'll get to Arsenal, bro. You just wait. We'll get to Arsenal. Don't you?
But listen, it's a game. Listen, we haven't had. I think you lot played them last year in January in the FA Cup and you won 3-0, but they were a champion. They were a championship side. But we haven't had a Tyne-Wear Derby since 2016, bro. It's been nearly 10 years since we had the last one. And you lot need a performance, bro, because I couldn't believe the stat that I saw when I saw it, bruv. Because so the last Tyne-Wear Derby was in 2016, bro. Sunderland. Take the FA Cup out, the last one. Sunderland are unbeaten in 9 of these derbies. The last 9, Sunderland haven't lost. They've won 6 and drawn 3. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that stat. That's crazy to me, considering some of the players that you lot have had and whatnot, and obviously them going down to the championship, but they always seem to rise to the occasion for this game, bruv. So I think this is a must-win for you lot, considering that record.
Yeah, bruv. It's the worst thing for a Newcastle fan is that record, that stain. And that was all during the Mike Ashley era. And the deep thing is, like, Sunderland were a club in turmoil as well. They were going through their problems. And they smoked us every time. I think, what was it, 2016, you said, yeah?
Yeah, that was the last. That was a draw. That was a draw.
That was a draw. Oh, see, yeah. I was thinking about the
you draw. So you drew that. The last one, 2016, was a draw, and then the 6 before that, Sunderland all won them. So, like, if you remember the Adam Johnson goals, like David Vaughan or some shit, fucking Fabio.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Let's
Jermaine
not
Defoe
blame.
loved playing you lot. Jermaine Defoe loved playing you
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Paolo
Let's
Di
not blame
Canio
Mike
era.
Ashley, man. Saint Maxi was a real culprit, bruv. He
Oh,
was the
come
No, he
real
wasn't
reason
around then.
He
why
wasn't
bro.
around then, bruv.
Newcastle
He
lost
wasn't
Come
their
on,
around
games.
then,
man.
bruv. He wasn't
Yeah,
Come on,
around.
man.
but it's his
Nah.
aura in
This
it. We could
guy,
talk
bruv.
aura earlier on, bruv.
This guy, bruv. Running agendas, bruv.
Aura of Saint
Running
Maxi, bro, man.
agendas, bro. No,
But
these were the times where we had players like Demba Ba, Cisse.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was
Goku.
that time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like them man
yeah,
there,
bro.
like Stephen Taylor.
Bro. Yeah. Trust me, it was that
Our
time.
boy,
This
the
was
second greatest Newcastle striker all
this,
time,
bro.
Shola, bruv.
These times were when Steve Bruce was managing Sunderland, fam. You know what I mean? Trust me.
Carry on
But
with the
You
knee
know,
yeah,
slides
man.
and all that. Yeah, bruv. Crazy.
I can't
all
lie.
these Man United guys.
I'm not looking forward to it, bruv. I'm not. I
You're
know
mad.
what you're saying about us being better, but I personally, right now, I'm not looking forward to it. However, I know come game day, I'm just going to be gassed because it's the first derby in a long time. It's like 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like 10 years since we proper had a Premier League match against these
Mm.
guys. So, yeah, really looking forward to it, man. Atmosphere is going to be lit.
Yeah,
And if we
atmosphere.
win, bro.
Sunderland fans are gonna, because it's at Sunderland. They're gonna be up for it, bruv.
Yeah. And if we win, bro, it's going to be massive, man. It's going to be huge because it
It'll
could
be big for the
potentially
season, yeah.
turn our season.
Nah, 100%.
For sure.
Two quiz question for you. Last time you lot beat them was 2011, 1-0. Who scored? This guy's trying to look it up right now.
2011.
This guy's trying to look it up right now.
I'm going to say, no, I'm not looking it up. I'm going to say,
Shola.
give me a clue. Give me a clue. Position.
Hey, I don't actually know what position he played. I think, do you know what? I think he was a defender, but he might not have been. He might have been a midfielder.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I was going to say Colaccini if you were saying defender, bro.
So, Ryan Taylor, bruv.
He was
free kick.
Defender.
Free kick.
Yeah, he was a defender.
Yeah,
He's the one that when the ball hit him in the arm and like faking bare injury.
No, that was Stephen Taylor.
No, that's Stephen Taylor.
That was Stephen Taylor.
Okay.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Ryan Taylor got a good.
You know what's deep
I remember.
about Ryan Taylor? Yeah, Ryan Taylor was a left back. Yeah, he was a free kick merchant, and he played for Wigan. Every time he played for Wigan, he used to score a free kick against us.
He scored screamers, bruv. He scored
Yeah.
screamers,
The
bruv.
lefty was serious.
And then we bought him, yeah,
And he didn't do shit.
Didn't do shit other than that goal,
I
bro.
remember.
Other than that one goal, bro. Do you know what I mean? And that was a free kick as well, but it was a bad boy free kick. I remember that, bro. TJ, me and you were in uni them times, bro, back in Kingston days, and KA too. That was that. I remember that game vividly, bro. I went mental.
Crazy.
And it was a banger of a free kick, bro. Awkward position, like, yeah. I can't remember who they had in goal. I think it was that Danish brother.
I didn't look at that.
I don't remember. I thought they had Manoni in goal.
I just saw, but that's 2000. Bro, you haven't beaten them in 40. Is that 14 years? That's 14 years in the Prem.
Yeah.
I know obviously 2016 was the last Prem one, but that even still, that's crazy. You lot have to win this. It's a must win for you lot, bro. It's a must win for you lot. Crazy.
Bro, I'm not on the poddy next week if we lose, bro. Like, just
you're back, bro, because you got another big game next weekend as well, bro.
Against
Cooking with Rash, bro.
Oh, you not.
No, we got an alliance right now, bro. We got bigger fish to fry.
And bro,
me and Rash got bigger fish to fry.
Bro, that is a nice segue into the final part of this, bro, because I've never seen. Obviously, the last time I saw it like this was the end of the season last year, but I've never seen the group chat so animated. When that last minute goal went in from Aston Villa as you lot lost on the weekend. 2-1. Like these guys are awful. They're absolutely awful.
Oh, terrible.
But KA, obviously, I know you won midweek against Club Brugge, but everyone expected that. But KA, it was a difficult game. It was always going to be a difficult game because obviously it's Emre. It was away at Villa. Villa are flying right now. I think it was just something mad that they won. I can't remember how many games in a row they've won. Something crazy.
7 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
I think
mad
it's
like
8
that.
now.
Yeah, after
Yeah.
the poor start that they had to the season as well. Obviously it's a dagger. Any losing last minute is a dagger to anybody. Doesn't matter what. Obviously, it's not going to affect the fact that you lot are going to win the league. But it was just a dagger in terms of the fact that had you gotten the point and gotten out of there, it would have been seen as a positive result, considering that you didn't play all that well on the day. But just how are you feeling about this? I think mostly from rival fans, there's been an overreaction that, yep, you're going to crumble now and City going to come and they're going to win the league. I know Arsenal fans are like, behave yourselves, like we've got it in the bag. It was just a blip. But how are you seeing that defeat to Villa? How are you seeing it going into this week? Obviously, it's Wolves at home, so you're going to win. But how are you seeing it on the overall picture of the league right now? With obviously Villa 2 points behind you and City 3 points behind you now.
Oh, I'm not taking Villa seriously. It's the same as it always has always been. This title race. Okay, at the beginning of the season, we thought maybe Arsenal, Liverpool, but now it's looking like it's going to be Arsenal, City. Um, I don't know what happens. Everyone seems to have their best form when they're in and amongst Arsenal. When they're playing Arsenal games, like everyone gets onto their best form. And Sunderland, best game ever. Now all of a sudden, where are they? They're like, no, they can't even see them. And
This guy, you don't need to
yeah,
focus on yourself. Focus on
Man United's
yourself.
best game ever against at the start of the season
Oh,
against
here you
Arsenal.
go. Focus on
So.
yourself.
So I don't know what it is, yeah, but it's and as you said, but the rival fans, it is what it is, man. 1 minute we're set piece FC, next minute we can't. Oh, what happens to the corners? Next minute, oh, Arsenal's gonna bottle again when we're still top. Like we just lost one game. Like City have lost, everyone's lost. But anyway, um, no. So like, I'm not too frazzled. I'm not too worried about the Villa loss. It hurt, yes, it did, but that only it hurt in a sense of what we've talked about, every point feels like it's a do or die point, and at this point in the season, and because I think it's because of that we're playing with that handbrake, playing with that fear, knowing that City are behind us, knowing that if they just put it together, which you could say that they're just one piece away from putting it all together, being back to their normal selves. Because you got Foden scoring, you got Haaland still scoring, but they still managed to sort out that defense. Managed to people say when Rodri comes back, that could be the missing piece. But it just feels like the sort of like the cushion we built has already been chipped away at, and City are not at their best yet. So it is what it is. It's now this loss to Villa, the draw against Chelsea is now making that Sunderland draw bigger than what it was, making that seeing those 2 points dropped bigger than what it was. Because if we had those 2 points, if we didn't let Sunderland get back in it and score, if we didn't if we you could say if we stepped up a bit more against Chelsea, these small points dropped here and there, even though we're not losing. Obviously, we lost to Villa.
Mm.
It will help with that cushion. So it feels like every game is a do or die game, even though we're still in the first half of the season. But as I said, come back in February, come back in January, March, and then we'll see where we are. Because once we get this December out of the way, it's now Arsenal's turn to have a favourable run. So, and we get our players back. So I'm not too annoyed, but yes, I'm upset that obviously we lost. And as you said, the draw would have been fair. And but I think we still got this in the bag. We should still have it in the bag, should I say?
Well, listen, we've already listen. We've already said that this is done. It's
And yeah, when I
formalities.
say that, when we got this in the bag, yeah, we've got no one to blame but ourselves if we don't because we're in the driving seat.
100%. And look, as you said, City. I don't believe that City are in a title race. Personally, I think that there's
Who are
still
in a title race then? Who's
I,
Arsenal's
no one,
challengers?
no one. I think
We ain't run away with it.
you haven't won away with it, but I
We're
don't think
2 points ahead of City.
City are contenders, and I think the reason is because defensively they're terrible. And also, as I said, one thing to Haaland, and they're screwed. We saw that where against Leverkusen, when they rested all their players, and Leverkusen wiped the floor with them. This City team isn't that strong, and I don't see them giving you a challenge. And it's obviously you said as well. The amount of injuries that you lot have got, like, is crazy. It's actually crazy the amount of injuries that you've got, and we're not talking about like,
Bro, we're not allowed
maybe
to talk
one
about it though. We're not allowed to talk
maybe
about it.
one or two are squad players, but you've got Saliba out, you've got Gabriel out, you've got King Kai out, as Jay likes to call him. Obviously Trossard came back, got injured again. Obviously Martinelli's just come back.
Gyökeres was out.
Gherkin was out. Now he's come back. Obviously, there's now doubts. You lot are playing. You lot are playing
Rice
Rice
is out.
injured. You're playing Rice injured because you can't afford to drop him. I don't know. The thing is, he won't play tomorrow because there's no need for him to play tomorrow. What against Wolves? So let me say against Wolves because obviously it's going up
I
tomorrow.
think he might play. If he makes the bench, he might come on because we've got a
It's
whole
no,
No,
week.
there's no need. There's no
There's no
need.
Wolves are
need, but
terrible.
because then I would have said the same thing about Saka, but because we've got no midweek game, we need, some of them need that minutes
Exactly. Even bro,
in
you
the
can
in the
you.
so
So my whole thing is you don't need him because you can go Zuba, Moreno, and whomsoever you're playing in the 10 and put Gherkin back up front. You're still winning the game. Like there's no need to play Rice when
of
you
course,
don't need to.
yeah, we should win.
No, when you
I'm
need to.
expecting
So
3-4-0.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
easy,
like me
easy.
personally, I think this gets you back on it. I think Palace are going to beat City on the weekend.
You think
So
so?
yeah,
I think Palace will get a
Palace
result.
have
I
not
think
been. They've not been good after
I know
European
they're not been good after
matches. They've not
Europe,
been
and
good, and
I
they
know I know, and that's the only thing. But brother, I like this City side. Just I don't think they're it.
City don't know how to play well against
and they've
Crystal
got no
Palace.
Munoz as well. He's out. Munoz is out.
Yeah, Munoz is out, but they've still got Mateta. They've still got obviously Asar's out as well. Actually, to be fair,
They
yeah,
got Pino's Pino's
actually,
changing.
maybe you're right, Ka. Maybe you're right. Maybe City might get the win. Yeah, with those guys being out. But listen, it was a blip. It was always going to be difficult, but there's nothing. There's no reason to panic. The quadruple is still on. It's just a case of bouncing back against Wolves and then moving forward. But Kay, there's something I did want to address with you, and I think there's something that you lot need to sort out very, very quickly, especially when you get all your players back. It's something that I saw Arsenal fans talking about on social media, and it's this thing of you've got to choose between Eze or Odegaard who you start, because this sticking Eze out on the left isn't working, and you can see he's at his happiest in the number 10. Now, people will say, oh, but he played on the left for Palace last season. Technically, he didn't. He was playing in that left 10 position where he still had the freedom to be operating in them half spaces and not so much out wide. What's your perspective on that? Because for me personally, I think Eze has to play, but obviously people and look, you can chop and change between the two because there's going to be games. The games with the low block, I think Odegaard will be best for them because he knows how to unlock defenses. But I think in those more open games, I think Eze will be the best. So they both bring the right characteristics. But I think shoving Eze out on the left and playing Odegaard, I just don't think the two of them can play together because they will both want to operate in the same space. How do you see that?
Well, again, this is football fans just getting in a tizzle after one or two kind of performances that don't go their way. Eze is now is a different player at Arsenal than what he was at Crystal Palace. Everyone got infatuated, including myself, like we're gonna get the Eze of Palace, but really and truly, we played different systems. Palace played with two tens at times. Arsenal played with two eights. Um, Eze can play on the left, but I think it's more of a system where um, Calafiori sometimes doesn't complement Eze and in the way he plays. So he hasn't built up the relationships like with the people around him. Whereas like on the right, you got that Saka,
Saka,
Timber,
Timber, and
and
Odegaard. They
Odegaard,
love
or
that.
swap out Timber and Ben White.
Ben White.
They got that cohesiveness, that relationship. Whereas on the left, we've never had that.
Yeah.
Whereas,
true.
but then Trossard and Calafiori complement each other in the way they play. Is because what they want. It means they haven't even got that. They don't complement each other. It's just that what they want to do, they don't get in each other's way. Whereas what Eze does, what Martinelli does, what Calafiori does, Calafiori gets in the way of a lot of people.
Yeah, because he's trying to do. He's just inverting all the time.
Yeah, and he's just invading spaces of other people. So it's people see obviously, and I'm not a tactical connoisseur or like person who speaks about the game like that all the time. I test all that, mix it, match it. But people are getting onto Eze because of they're not seeing Eze at Palace. Eze is not going to come and get on the ball like he did at Palace, where he goes and looks for the ball. Eze comes and he's coming to play a position. Whatever Arteta tells him to do, he's going to try and do that to the best of his ability. And I think this season, and I think with a lot of Arsenal players, we have to realise that I don't think you can look at people's performances. I think every player is just going to have their moments, whether in the system or they just do something off the cuff like Madueke did against Club Brugge, where he decided to just cut. This is the first time we've seen him cut inside. Every time he's always going around the outside, start, jink, twist, turn. But he thought, no, I'm going to go inside. Only Saka does that when he plays on the right. He's got the license to do that when he wants to. Whereas like everyone else has to play the system. But so I think we just have to hope that these players can have their moments and know when to feel like the game and know when to kind of work their magic or when to work out the right path. Because Odegaard, for me, he's done a lot of things where he could arguably be dropped, but he's the captain of the team, so he's not getting dropped. He has to be the first name on the team sheet. Odegaard, he slows the game down too much unnecessarily at times, where he stifles attacks. And as you said, against low blocks, that's fine because they're sitting back. But like in games where he comes on against Chelsea, where we should be going, we've got the man up, we should be going at them. Why are you taking off Eze and bringing on Odegaard? Obviously, it wasn't like for like, but he's slowing the game down where we need to be chasing it and putting pressure on them.
No, 100%.
So it's some of it is perspective, some of it is narrative, some of it is right.
Yeah.
But don't already forget about what Eze's done just a couple of weeks ago. Got a hat trick. He scored where he scored and assisted. He's in double. I don't know exactly. But I would have thought he's in look, GA combined. GA.
I always think GA combined is a double figures fast.
Maybe not. I was just trying to go off the top of my head, but I think 3 goals here. He scored in Carabao. Scored in.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
He's not there yet. Cool. Anyway, but let's not get on his back just yet, man.
No, I hear it 100%. ST, what are you saying about Arsenal? What do you think's happening here? Do you think it's just a blip, or are you sharpening the knives and the pitchforks and basically saying that City's time to lose now?
You already know. You already know. Arsenal hatred till I die. Mikel for life. I don't care about this team, but on a serious note, it's the injuries. If they had one of the Gabriel and Saliba, they'd be fine. It's just that injuries have cost them really, and I think once Arsenal get their players back, I think Arsenal will be okay. But they have to get them back as soon as possible, because the way I see it, if Arsenal, every team can have a blip, but if Arsenal continues to have a blip, that's when you worry. But personally, if you win against Wolves and you win against who's your next game after Wolves? I don't know.
I think they're going a decent run after this. Oh, yeah. Everton. They're away at Everton.
Yeah, away at Everton, yeah.
That's a tough game. If we beat Everton, then you're back on track. But that's going to be a tough game, Everton. But you lot will slap Wolves. Wolves are rubbish. We beat them.
We should beat Everton as well.
Everton,
yes, but
you should.
Everton at home are good. But Everton at home are decent.
Yeah, they're decent at home, but you should beat them. I think you go on a decent run after this, to be fair. But
yes, Yes, and it's without Illiman and Gay as well, so you
because
should
they'll
be
be
all
at
right.
AFCON.
Afcon, yeah,
They'll be at AFCON.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
So
you should win.
yeah,
You should win comfortably against them. But now we'll watch this space with Arsenal because as ST said, once the and K you said it as well. Once the injuries, like I said it to the truth in the group chat. You'd rather these like obviously you don't want any injuries at all, but you'd rather they get injured in the beginning of the season than get injured February, March, and then
yeah.
they're out for the rest of the season. And the fact of the matter is that with all these injuries, you are still top of the league, 2 points clear. You're top of the Champions League, having won all your games. It said still in the Carabao Cup. An FA Cup, as obviously, I think your game's away at Portsmouth or something like that, or at home to Portsmouth. So you're well on your way in that as well. So it's still positive for Arsenal,
to away
even though. Hmm?
away to Portsmouth.
Yeah, so it's still positive for Arsenal.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. It's a tight one
once you
for
get your
Arsenal.
players back, I think it will be a massive boost to the team and to everybody, and it'll be full steam ahead going into the clutch moments in the in all competitions. But listen, we're gonna wrap it up there. People, let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Slot versus Salah. Which side are you on? Are you on Team Salah? Are you on Team Slot? Or are you a bit in the middle? Or have you got the perspective that even though we all have shared our opinions and some lent to one side and some lent to the other, the fact of the matter is, yes, we're rival fans and we're enjoying the turmoil. But the fact of the matter is, common sense says this doesn't benefit anybody. Let us know what you think about the Tyne-Wear Derby. Our Newcastle people out there, let us know what you think. Bro, 14 years. I know they haven't been in the Prem, but Jesus, that record is crazy. I couldn't believe that stat. But let's know what you
Hmm.
think about that. And let's know what you think about Arsenal. Is it just a blip? Is it just one of those things? Like, have you got the confidence in Mr. KA that the quadruple is still there to be, is still there? Or
Calma,
are you starting
calma.
to or are you still starting to think there's cracks coming? City on at full strength. They could be coming. Obviously, Aston Villa are flying right now. Okay, dismissed them as challenges, but you never know in this league. It could be a Leicester situation. It always happens every once in a while, so you never know. But let us know what you think in the comment section. Before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. As I say all the time, share, share, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. I want to say thank you very much to my guy, Mr. KA and ST. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Take it easy, man.
Tooth apologizes, people. He had to drop off, but we say thanks to Tooth as always as well. Coming up. So we will have two footy chats for you next week. Obviously, the Prem we'll be talking about the Premier League and obviously what transpires over the weekend. And we've got two massive games coming up next weekend as well with Newcastle and Chelsea and Liverpool and Spurs. But also, I'll be back with these two for the preview of AFCON. I know that unfortunately for them, they have no horse in the race, but I do. And obviously, but they have extensive knowledge of AFCON. So we'll be doing an AFCON preview as well.
Oh, but I can't lie. Before you, Ivory Coast have had a little bit of issues, but
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
don't
speak
know
on
what
that.
we're doing, bro. Like, we left out Adingra
Ooh,
and Pepe. Like, I'm just
Pepe,
like, what are we doing, bruv?
and
Like,
brought back Zaha. It's interesting, but that's
I don't,
it's a political thing. So, but
of
we'll
course it
go
is.
into that.
We don't got time for politics. We're going
Pepe's
to,
out here with
bro.
bad bees, bro. That's
Bro,
why he's been
bro,
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
we
distracted,
boy.
bro.
don't we don't
Yep.
have time for politics, bro. We're going to war against the North Africans, bro. Like I don't understand. We haven't got time for it. But there, people, we'll definitely be back with these two to preview AFCON, bro. It is like the last one we did it last year, year before, whichever one it was, and I
I think
thoroughly
the
The
year
year
before.
before.
yeah, I think it was the year before, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So we'll be back for that, and obviously we'll be back for Footy Chat as well. Also, I will be speaking to the truth. Obviously, KA already agreed. Well, we'll be speaking to the truth to try and get an NBA talk. Try and possibly get it
He don't want to.
after
He don't
the
want to
NBA
talk
Cup.
about
Bro, I
yeah,
can't believe, bro.
Raw.
You look at
OKC
bro.
still
If if
that because
if
they're still
if
doing
you lot
they're
play your
winning.
cards right, yeah, that Golden State record's up for grabs.
He don't want to talk about it whilst we're on top, man. He don't. He's run out of excuses, man. That's why he's gone mute.
Man,
Yeah, but
truth be watching.
no, I'm telling you 100%. But yeah, people will definitely be back for that as well. So people, listen, stay safe out there, be safe, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.